Welcome to the podcast, Kill Complacency. Here we inspire intentional living by motivating others to handle hard better. And here's your host, Marty Hofmann.
Hey, hope you guys enjoy this second part to this podcast with Steve Montgomery, good friend of mine, and my, I don't know if there's a father-in-law in the family line type of thing, but my son-in-law's dad. So great guy, great job parenting. We dived a little bit in here in regards to the addictiveness of video games and how do you help your teenagers find themselves in life and what their likes and dislikes are in regards to that. Because what was a takeaway you had in regards to that? I mean, yeah, specifically in regards to the video games.
Yeah, I really liked how he was talking about leading by example, and especially what he said to do if your kids are really addicted to video games, just what he said to do, leading an example. I thought that was really good.
Yeah. And what he talks about at the very end, his mission, his word of advice to us was pretty profound too, as far as making the world a better place. So hope you guys enjoy this podcast, and please share it with others if it's beneficial, and give us a review. We're trying to kick this off, and help people live more intentional lives. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it is interesting that, going back to intentionality on developing your kids. So Noah, he's going down a path of construction, right? Which I think is fantastic. He's not going a traditional college level, which for me was, in our time frame, man, college was just hammered on you. And he would not have thrived in college, but he is absolutely not just making it. He is literally thriving in his program
because it's the right fit for him.
It's a perfect fit for him.
And he's building.
And we saw that a few years ago. We saw that was going to be a better fit for him. Mm-hmm. Samuel is now in that window where we're trying to help direct him of where to go. And he and I had a really interesting conversation.
What do you think he'll become?
Well, that's where it was interesting, because initially he's like, man, I really want to be a pilot. And I'm like, okay, let's talk about that. I know a lot of pilots. Mm-hmm. When we were in Houston, we were hub for Continental, which is now United. We had a lot of pilot friends that went to church with us. So I know a lot of men that have been pilots, are pilots. In our Trail Life troop, we've got a couple of pilots that are dads in there as well. The one thing that I've always heard about pilots, the challenge is it takes you away from family a lot. Mm-hmm. Overnight or multiple days. Mm-hmm. And so what I wanted him to understand, and I didn't want to discourage him from pursuing that, but what I did want him to do is I wanted him to work through that mental task of, what does this truly mean by making this decision?
Yeah.
So we started talking about it. I said, yeah, here's the thing that you need to know, and the thing that you need to think through is, while you're a single young man, pilot, that's awesome job. Man, you could travel the world, you could see a lot of things. But once you have a family, there will be challenges with that of pulling you away from that family. So if your goal is to have kids and a family, you need to have that calculated into your total decision. And so we had that heart to heart. Now, over the last 6 to 8 months after we've had that conversation, he's now shifting gears a little bit, and he's now thinking, he's a tinkerer. He's the one that's my little engineer. Yeah. He has a lockpick kit because he loves that kind of aspect. He's got a 3D printer on his desk. Okay. He's got a soldering gun on his desk. That's who he is. And so I've long thought some sort of engineering or robot kind of thing. Well, there's this new program at the tech school that's talking about industrial systems, which is electronic, hydraulic, and robotic, all combined into one program.
So he's going to go figure it out.
So he's been accepted now to Votech for that program, and I think it's a perfect fit for him. But I didn't want to make that decision for him. It's got to be his decision.
Yeah.
And as a parent, I think the intentionality part of that is that we help guide them there, but ultimately it's got to be their decision. Because if it's your decision pointing them, that's when the rebellion can occur, right? So if you're pushing them in a direction, they may do it.
Well, don't you feel like that shifts a little bit? Like when they're real little.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah,
you're real little, you're the boss.
You are the boss, that's right.
And there's no conversation.
Right.
And then you get to teenagers, and there's kind of a transition in there.
Right.
But you get to teenagers where you become more of a coach, right?
Right.
And you're trying to help them understand where their decisions will lead to.
Right.
While still allowing them to make those decisions.
Yep. I wholeheartedly agree with that there's a window, and the window's a little different for each child too. Again, going back to knowing the heart of your child, knowing where they're at, and knowing when you can kind of let off of that direction pushing and listening to them to help guide that next step, next direction. So it's really important to focus on that for sure in that 10 to 13 year window. When they're 10 to 13, that's when that transition will occur. And if you're listening to their heart, if you're listening to what they're saying, if you're watching what they're doing, then you'll kind of see it. You'll something will grab a hold, and you'll start seeing, wow, man, he's really doing a lot of this, or he's enjoying this a lot. Well, like Noah, I've told him, I said, every day he comes home from Votech, well, did you have fun? Dad, I don't even think I'm working. He has so much fun with it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's great. That's what you want to have, because every day that you can go to work and you have fun with it, it's not a job.
Yeah.
You're enjoying what you're doing. And so I want all of my kids to experience that. And so I feel like we're doing some, again, not perfect parent, and there's no such thing as a perfect parent for all of you that are out there. You are your child's parent, and I believe because God put that child in your path. But none of us are perfect by any stretch.
Steve, talk to the parent right now that has a 13 to 17-year-old. We'll call it a male child who's just playing video games all day long. How do they determine the direction that kid should be going? Because, we've seen YouTube videos of dads that just take those systems and destroy them because that kid is literally wasting his life in front of that screen, that addictive screen all day long. How do these, I think it's a lot easier for you because people would say, well, you're in the country and you guys don't do video games, so it's easy to see where your kids' their interests are. So how can a parent determine that, or do they need to unplug the machine?
That's going to be hard. Because you will have a rebellious aspect, because they have gotten so ingrained into that gaming system that it's going to be hard to get them off of that without completely cutting them off. What I would say is the best first step is to talk to the child and say, and it may mean that, again, going back to that first conversation with Christy where we had our expectations, she had her expectations, and then we utilize that together. So it may mean that, you sit down with your child and you say, what I would like you to do is for 30 days, let's fast from the gaming console. And I will do this. I will fast from something that I'm going to give up.
Yeah.
So that he recognizes that, okay, this is not him.
By example.
This is not just him telling me to do it. He's actually encouraging it by showing it.
And that, Steve, that's a lot of wisdom, because that's a lot more crucial with teenagers, right?
Absolutely.
To lead by example, servant leadership rather than
if you dictate to them, I feel like there's going to be more rebellion. So by setting them down, but it's still going to be hard. I mean, this whole gaming console and the technology thing is hard. We've seen it.
Well, it's hard because
it's addictive.
Those games are made to be addictive, and
Yes.
literally, our brains are malleable.
Yep.
I mean, even when we're older, we can change our brains
Yep.
to change the neurological pathways to become
Yes.
rivers and Grand Canyons of
Yes.
pathways that we want to act. So it is hard, not only because of games, but also our body,
Yep.
our brains become addicted to it.
Yep.
And I mean, a concern I have, and something I was thrilled with the way you guys raised your kids, was there wasn't that issue. I'm not worried that Micah is gonna
Check out and all
come
he's going
home
to do
and
is
sit on the couch and play video games all night,
right.
and not engage my daughter,
Right.
his wife.
Yeah, and again, it's because we started that direction, and that's where you asked about the dad that's got the 13-year-old or 12-year-old kid that's been gaming for a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had to experience that, so I don't really know the answer to that.
But you would start with a fast.
I would start with a fast for both, and knowing what we're seeing with all forms of technology, that it is very addictive.
Mm-hmm.
And to help them get off of that addiction, you're going to then also have to replace that with something,
Sure.
right? So before you approach that child and encourage them to fast, start looking at things that they are drawn to,
And maybe you can do together.
and that you could do together, that says, okay, we're both going to fast. This is what we're going to do. Because then what you're also doing is you're developing that stronger relationship where that child can then lean on you and be there with you, and you can encourage each other. So that would be the recommendation that I would have. If it works or not, I don't know. I've not had to experience that because we've not had to do that.
Well, I like your example of the fast, but I also like you as a parent being willing to give up something as well.
Well, it's just leadership, like you said. It's example by leadership, and again, please don't take this wrong, audience. By no means am I the authority on the issue. I fail daily, so I ask for God's grace regularly on all of that. So, but those are areas that I do see are extreme concerns that are out there for ours, not just for our kids, but our society, because it's becoming a pandemic, if you will. Yeah. I was listening. What was it? Kevin James, the comedian.
Okay.
He's got. This was just a advertisement of him in his new program. He says, my kids walk around like this all day long, and they, kind of slovenly walk around. And I'm thinking, well, that's kind of a bad state of affairs.
Mm-hmm.
That, some of that. And again, for those of you who have younger kids, I would highly encourage you to be stricter on that younger.
Well, let their brains develop.
Yes.
With coloring books, even.
Yes.
And dot to dots.
Yep.
And things that we did as kids.
Yep.
Legos.
All of
you
that.
guys have Legos.
Oh yeah.
You?
Ton of Legos.
We do too.
Yep. Ton of Legos. All of those things that
develop the brain.
Right. Can help them encourage without the screen aspect.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a big issue for sure.
Steve, do you guys have any habits or things you guys have done as a family that you feel like helped you guys out? You guys have like a family night, game night. I know you guys play a lot of games.
I don't know that there's anything consistent every week. We do try to do some game nights periodically, and the kids love board games. I mean, we should be doing that. One night a week, that should be an absolute thing, but we don't do it as regularly as we probably should. As far as a family, we do have, family worship of some form or fashion. Yeah. At least once, if not twice a week. And then, I think activities together, regardless of what they are.
Well, you guys do so much together
as a family.
Airsoft.
That's right.
Trail life.
We try to do as much.
You're singing with your older
singing
boys.
with my 4 older boys. Man, how cool is that? That was a fun thing to add. But yeah, trying to do things as it's logistically it makes sense,
Mm-hmm.
but heart-wise it makes sense, because all of these things that you're doing are developing that stronger bond, that stronger relationship. So why not do more things together as a family and as a brotherhood, if you
Yeah.
will? So yeah, absolutely. That those are the things that I would say we do more.
Yeah.
Is just focusing on things that we can do as a family,
Mm-hmm.
as a whole.
Well, I mean, you guys have done reenactments,
Mm-hmm.
dances. I
Yep.
mean,
Which was actually brought in because of our oldest
when I
daughter-in-law.
thought about tapping on that earlier,
Yeah,
your oldest son met his wife
Yes.
at the vet clinic.
at the vet clinic. So
and her parents were doing the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, you want to be a
Well,
vet? Well,
so on that note, here's a few things on that. Had we not moved to where we are now, we struggled with this move. We put our house on the market, and it was in a high window of sales, like it was a seller's market.
yeah.
It sat on the market for about a year and a half. We had 5 properties that we had under contract that we couldn't pull the
Well, it
trigger
was
on
contingent,
because it was contingent on our property. We could get it sold. We had one property out in Hera. We had another property out in Jones. We had one out in Luther. All these other areas.
But God kept saying no.
God, yeah, but here's why. As I look back, I absolutely see God in the picture. Nathan would never have met Emma
Mm-hmm.
because he would not have been at that vet clinic where she worked and they got to know each other. Micah probably would not have met Keziah
Yeah.
because we would not have been at the co-op that we were at where we really engaged your family at the first time.
Yeah.
So to me, I look back at that, I'm like, oh, yeah. I mean, that's why he moved us there. But yeah, so we've done those things, and Emma and Keziah have now brought things to our family
Mm-hmm.
that have even enhanced our family that much more because of, Emma with the dancing reenactment thing, and Keziah, I mean, she's sitting over the corner, but she has, I've got a tout on my daughter-in-law. I've got a good friend of mine that has struggled with some major health issues in the last 6 months. And she asked about getting his home address to send him a letter.
Mm-hmm.
And he calls me up saying, your daughter-in-law, I can't just, he's like in tears. I can't tell you what that meant to me,
Mm-hmm.
that your daughter. So that addition
That's
into
her
our
heart.
family, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's those things that you look forward to as your family grows, is that the extra things that the in-laws,
Mm-hmm.
kids bring to the table. And I've been thoroughly blessed. So, I don't know if that answers the
good.
general question, but yeah, the family is a key aspect to all that we do, is how we operate around that family dynamic.
So, Steve, as we wrap this up, I always ask 2 final questions.
Okay.
One is most influential book,
Okay.
and then final message. So, what would you say? And you can say Bible. If there's another one, you can say that as well.
I mean, the Bible is by far. I'm not a big reader. That's one of my shortcomings as a.
I love Audible.
I do too,
That opened
and
up a whole new world to me.
Yeah. But if I read, it's typically more of a novel style.
Yeah.
I don't. Reading to educate myself is hard.
But do you have a favorite book? Like my dad. My dad loved Casey Up to Bat. That was his favorite poem. Very fictional, but
I don't know if you've ever heard of Clive Cussler, but he's got several books that are like action adventure books.
and that's what you.
Yeah.
That's what you can eat up.
It's the same thing as like Tom Clancy novels.
Okay.
I've read all of the Tom Clancy novels, so that type of spy networky kind of things, yes, I can dive
You
into
can get
those.
into that.
Educationally, right now I'm trying to read through the Federalist Papers.
Okay, good.
And so just something, it's taking me a long window to read through it, but there's good information there, right?
Yeah.
But absolutely the Bible is by far the most influential book. And in that book, I have to say, I lean to James as probably one of my most influential books this pulls me into Scripture.
Practical Christian living.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. you got one message to give to the world. Let's say I have you hostage,
Okay.
and you get to, you got a mic in front of you, and you get to broadcast it to the world.
Okay.
What do you want the world to know from Steve Montgomery if this is his last message?
So I'm going to go this direction, because the thing that I've been trying to help my kids understand is I don't have 100% of truth.
Mm.
Our society and our world today is so fractioned and so animus with each other. We're just going to battle.
Mm-hmm.
We've stopped having conversations, and we're screaming and yelling and canceling each other just because we disagree. So what I've been trying to teach my kids is I want to stand for what I believe to be true, but recognizing that I don't have 100% truth. I don't know 100. God is 100% truth, and there are still things about how God has and done that I don't truly know that I'm aligned 100%. And so I want to continue to strive for that truth. If I'm striving for truth, then that means I'm seeking, I'm asking questions, and I'm doing it with the aspect that I might change my perspective a little bit. It shouldn't change quickly.
Yeah.
And this is the other thing I tell my kids is I'm not going to go from belief in this here all the way over to here in a snap of a finger. But I can certainly come from here to here over a window of time by seeking truth and finding those truths, because I'm truly seeking it with an honest heart. So people having dialogues with others that they disagree with, sitting down and saying, this is what I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you believe what you believe? And listening to what they say instead of automatically, oh, you're just wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I want to know why you believe this. Whether it's theology, whether it's politics, those rails that we've avoided because we've allowed ourselves to not want to have that conversation.
Yeah.
But it's got to be as a conversation. You cannot come and argue with somebody. I grew up in speech and drama and debate, and I feel like I can debate virtually any topic on either side, because that's what a good debater would do.
Sure.
And that's unfortunately what a lot of our politicians do. They're great debaters.
Yeah.
But if you're seeking truth, you're not going to debate it, because all a debate does is it creates walls that make it harder to solve issues. If we can have more conversations with people, I really think we would be better as a society, because some of the healing would start happening and people would really come in contact with each other. And I'll leave it with this. I heard a speaker 2000 or so, and he said, the interesting thing is everybody yells for unity. They want unity. But unity, by definition, has to have diversity in it. Because if you don't have diversity of thought or diversity of something, it's not unity. It's homogeneous or uniform. So unity is important, which means you've overcome a gap of some sort. And in Scripture and in the church, we come together under Christ. We unify through Christ. With our country here in the States, we're the United States of America.
Sure. Under
the Constitution. The Constitution is that unifier. If we can get back to that as a country, that will help us. So I'll leave the politics there, but I really feel like that's the message that I would love for people to take and run with.
Be open to share and hear the other side, and love and be kind and all that. That's good.
Absolutely.
Steve, someone loves this interview and they say, I want to meet Steve. How do they find you? How do they find your insurance group?
MontgomeryIntegra.com is my website for my agency. I'm on Facebook, but we're pretty well locked down on Facebook as far as connections.
Sure.
We just, as a family, we kind of keep that closed. But you can always reach me through Montgomery Integra. My email's on there and contact information. So
sounds good.
Thanks, Marty.
Thank you, Steve. Hey, just wanted to thank you guys for listening to the end. In closing, I just wanted to add, that if this message resonates with you, if it aligns with your values, and something in it today triggered something, then you can also look me up on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. We are really trying to help people live more intentional lives, to kill the complacency with which they have subscribed to. I know there's many ways which I get sucked in all the time. So if this is beneficial, follow me there, spread the message, share. And if you want to wear a billboard of a message of kill complacency or live intentionally, then check out my merch store in show notes as well. But it's www.mindsetshop.com. Mindset is with an X, so it's MINDXET shop, SHOP.com. Mindsetshop.com. Check it out. Thank you guys so much, and have a great one.
Thank you for listening to Kill Complacency. Follow and share our podcast to change lives and inspire growth.